What's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, we've got a brand new update on that Godzilla TV series that's supposed to be out on Apple Plus. Some new information has just come out about it that says the upcoming Monarch Legacy of Monsters stars Kurt Russell, Wyatt Russell, Kiersey Clemens, as well as some familiar kaiju. Apple TV Plus's Monsterverse series has a title and a hello from Godzilla, and they've got this brand new image here that looks pretty gnarly, I'm not gonna lie. I've heard some people say it takes place around the time of the 2014 film when it attacks a bridge or something like that. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, but I always did like it. I think that Gareth Edwards' Godzilla movie is much better than it was ever really given credit for. Now, the article goes on to say something big, furious, and ready to fight is coming to Apple TV Plus, and with any luck, it'll be bringing like-minded friends along. The streamers just lifted the lid on its 10-episode series, continuing the story of Legendary's Monsterverse. Yeah, and you can see Godzilla roaring right here. Looks pretty gnarly. The title is Monarch Legacy of Monsters, and this is the first few images. First, here's what this series is about. Monsters. Well, yeah, I could have figured that out. Also this. Following the thunderous battle between Godzilla and the Titans that leveled San Francisco and the shocking revelation that monsters are real, Monarch Legacy of Monsters tracks two siblings following in their father's footsteps to uncover their family's connection to the secretive organization known as Monarch. Clues lead them into the world of monsters and ultimately down the rabbit hole into Army Officer Lee Shaw, played by Kurt Russell, and Wyatt Russell. So they're going back and forth with the times here. Snake Plissken fighting Godzilla. Sounds fun. It takes place in the 1950s and half a century later, where Monarch is threatened by what Shaw knows. The dramatic saga spanning 3 generations reveals buried secrets in the ways that epic, earth-shattering events can reverberate through our lives. I'm really digging the whole idea that this is supposed to be like a generational thing for Godzilla, and these guys have been hunting him kind of, it kind of reminds me of Godzilla 2000s a little bit, you know, where they were like looking out for him like he was a natural disaster, similar to Twister, which is really what Godzilla 2000 was kind of taking inspiration from. So it's kind of cool, only this is all over a government cover-up sort of a thing. Here's the images, starting with Kurt Russell looking very intense. Yeah, I like Kurt Russell, man. What's that movie he was in, Soldier? Yeah, well, that'd be a good one to cover on the channel. Here's Anna Sawai looking with concern toward the sky, presumably at a looming monster. Yeah, probably. It's probably the exact scene that we just saw. And considering she and the school bus are also pictured in the top image, like, yeah, we can figure that out. We got military people running. It looks cool, man. I'm actually really stoked to see what becomes of this. Here's Wyatt Russell playing the younger version of Kurt Russell's character. Wow, yeah. I wonder, so if he's in the 1950s, I don't think this is going to make a lot of sense, like believable, but we'll see, man. We'll see. The rest of the cast includes Kiersey Clemens, Ren Watabe, Mary Yamamoto, Anders Holm, Joe Tippett, and Eliza Lasowski. The series was co-developed by Chris Black, who did Star Trek Enterprise, and Matt Fraction of Hawkeye, and Matt Shackman of WandaVision directed the first 2 episodes. Not gonna lie, none of that really appeals to me, but we'll see where it goes. The show builds off the world established in 2014's Godzilla, gotta do a cover of that pretty soon, followed by 2017's Kong Skull Island. Look, guys, never really been the biggest fan of that one. King Kong's story is best in the 1933 way, in my opinion. Then we got King of the Monsters in 2021's. I liked Godzilla vs. Kong. Godzilla and Kong, The New Empire is still to come. Excited to see that. Apple TV Plus hasn't announced a release date for Monarch, The Legacy of Monsters, but presumably we'll be getting more details and hopefully a trailer soon. Now, this is pretty cool stuff, guys. I really do personally think that the Monsterverse stuff that they've been doing, it's pretty good. It's kind of hit and miss, but this show has a lot of potential, at least with the star power involved, and I genuinely am a big fan of Kurt Russell, big fan of Godzilla, big fan of stuff that's just monsters attacking each other. I am curious as to how they're going to go about showing off new creatures, new titans, whatever you want to call them. I don't like calling them kaiju either, to be completely honest with you. Just call them a monster. But yeah, so far, it's looking pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. I do love this image of Godzilla roaring at this character right by the school bus, and she's behind the school bus, so it looks like she had to back up from that other picture she was in. I will say this straight up, I'm more interested in seeing Godzilla -1, but I think I might be more interested in seeing this than Godzilla and Kong: The New Empire. Nothing against that one, but just kind of my 2 cents. I kind of feel like this show is something brand new. I don't know. Is Godzilla going to be in every episode? I guess that's the big thing that people are going to be wondering about. I would assume he'd have to be in almost every episode, and if he's not, they got to have some kind of cool monster like somewhere. I would actually really like to see Monsterverse tackle Anguirus. I would like to see them do Destroya, Biolante. But, you know, really, it'd be cooler to see some of their ideas, like a spin on Varan, or a spin on Gorosaurus, or something that we haven't seen in a long time. Other than that, the Apple TV show does look like it's going to be coming out pretty soon. I'm excited to see it, although I'll be completely real with you guys. It's more of a cautiously optimistic kind of a feel. I like the Monsterverse. I just don't really know if this is going to work, because we've heard relatively little about this thing, and you would think by now we'd have like a whole lot more information on it. I do know that there's been some leaks and other stuff happening here and there, but I'm not interested in getting spoiled, to tell you the God's honest truth. Now, everything is shrouded in secrecy here. We see, like in this article, they talk about it tracks 2 siblings following in their father's footsteps to uncover their family's connection to the secretive organization known as Monarch. So, Kurt Russell's character's been doing this since, well, I mean, the younger version of him's been doing this since the 50s, apparently. And there's all kinds of weird stuff, like, you know, tangled up with government entities, probably X-Files style or something. There's some clues that lead them into the world of monsters and ultimately down the rabbit hole to Army Officer Lee Shaw, taking place in the 1950s. Look, we know there's all these redacted files and stuff from the 50s when Godzilla first became kind of known, and then he didn't make a big public appearance until the 2014 movie. So in a way, I guess the best way we can kind of talk about this is that it's kind of like a prequel to that Godzilla movie, as well as being the only direct sequel, because Kong Skull Island wasn't. And then by the time you get to Godzilla King of the Monsters, that's like 5 years later after the Kong movie came out. So this is interesting. This is going to be something that I hope turns out pretty cool. I'd like to see how they captured, or you know how they've got the larva Mothra in King of the Monsters? It'd be cool to see how they, you know, went about doing that. And I'd actually like to see some smaller creatures. You know, one of the coolest things about Godzilla vs. Kong was the creature design in the Hollow Earth that was kind of like a bunch of random small creatures that you don't really... everybody liked that Doug thing. It looked like another little Godzilla. And you know, man, since it's an American Godzilla thing, they should adapt some of the more American ideas like Godzuki, or maybe even the Marvel stuff that they were doing in the 70s, which one of my favorite things ever was Fantastic Four versus Godzilla. I'll say this, guys, it's probably going to be pretty cool. It's a little strange they haven't talked about it much, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's pretty much everything there is to know about this official, like, little plot synopsis and the reveals of these images they've got. Kurt Russell's looking pretty intense. The shot of the bus on the bridge is cool. I like all of this. We'll see what becomes of it. Now, I'd like to hear what all of you guys have to say. What do you think about the new Monsterverse series? Do you think it'll be any good? And if so, I'd like to hear your thoughts on what you actually want from it. There's also an Alien show coming out soon. I don't know how that's gonna do, but whatever your own thoughts and opinions happen to be, I'd love to hear all about them in the comments down below.